great adult life for us to be able to grow up with our kids and still get some time with our father here. And you know, I think memories for me, just as a young kid, you know, obviously sports was such a big part of our lives, not only playing them, Andy was always there coaching, Doug and I, and just getting the love of it and passing it on to our kids, having watching my little nephew run in and get the score of the Virginia Tech games is pretty cool. You know, my kids have a love for sports. That's always been a bond that my dad and my brother and I have had. I think together we've been to definitely a couple of World Series and Maryland winning the Final Four. I know I've done a Super Bowl with my dad and got to go to the Masters with him. So you know, sports has always been a great part of our lives, and we're very fortunate to have that with him, and we're glad all of you made the journeys to come here. Some from Florida, some from New York.
I have really
and
far
all his
and Jersey,
yeah. Exit 30 off the Owensville. Those you came all the way from Owensville down the corner.
Ross came down the hill.
But
I came down the hill.
Here for Quick Toast, 70 years, and at least another 70 or maybe 60 more. So,
How about 7?
7 more.
7 more.
And I think his friend who's known him the longest, Mr. Richie Abrahams,
And Isaac.
It's my prerogative because I think I know Andy longer than anyone else in this room. Andy and I started at American University together in the fall of 1961. We didn't meet that whole first.
It's a long time ago.
It's a long time. We didn't meet that whole first semester, but we did meet midway through spring semester.
The track or the golf course?
The day of golf tryout. And as our dear friend Fred Joseph fondly recalled years later, his first sight of Andy was that day reading the newspaper, not the Wall Street Journal, not the New York Times, the Daily News, and I'm sure the racing. I am sure.
This is not true.
There's not a word of this that's not true. I promise.
Hold on, you were reading a textbook?
There were 8 of us who went out for 8 spots on that golf team.
That is true.
I'm proud to say
The first
that
thing
Andy
you
and
said
I,
is true.
proud to say Andy and I both made the team. The team was so mediocre that we even got to play number 3 and 4, which meant we got to play in the same foursome all of our matches. And that was the beginning of a beautiful friendship. It is no exaggeration, I promise, to say that no friends from American University, prior or since, have spent more days together playing tennis, golf, and going to the track than Andy and I. We expanded our horizons. We made 2 trips to Florida for winter break in my Rambler American. It was not the usual Florida trip of college students. We were a little unique. When we crossed the Georgia-Florida border, I know I would always make Andy drive because I would whip out my sun reflector, wondering if I could start to get a tan. Andy was just Andy. When we got to Florida, it was not all sun and surf and sand and sex. In fact, there was none of that. That's true. So we did expand on the golf, tennis, and horses by incorporating highlight and the dogs. And sometimes we did 3 or 4 of those things in one day. We also made trips to Philadelphia a few times, sleeping on a pull-out sofa, barely big enough for one, and going to Brandywine, unless it was Liberty Bell. And we went to Penn State one weekend, where we had our first and I think only indoctrination to fraternity life, where we wound up sleeping in the basement of the firehouse, Andy sleeping on top of me, on the upper berth of the double-decker. And we both got to sample what it was like to be in a fraternity, stepping out of bed in the morning into 3 inches of the basement floor. which was enough of that routine for us. We went from there at about 8 in the morning to the Penn State golf course, where we played in the drizzle. And I remember Andy had a sprained finger and did not play very well.
He's got the same sprained finger.
I wonder why. My senior year, though, we really stepped out. We took an apartment off campus in Silver Spring. We were supposed to have a third roommate, Bobby Foster. Unfortunately, a few days before the semester began, Bobby took his tuition money, which his widowed mother had given him in cash. True story. And betted on an absolute sure thing, a small field show bet at Bowie or Laurel. Bowie or Laurel. Lost it, dropped out of school, joined the Army, and last we knew was headed for Vietnam. Yeah. So that left me and Andy to enjoy the fruits of this apartment all to ourselves. We had our own bedrooms, if you know what I mean. And I can tell you that the wildest thing we did was, I think, one night we drank martinis. Although as I was thinking about it the other day, I do have a recollection of seeing Marilyn the First wander around a couple of times.
The first, Maryland the first.
Marilyn the
Marilyn the First.
Prior Marilyn.
Prior Marilyn.
What was going on there, I know if not. All I can say is they are wonderful memories. Andy, thank you for making that all possible for me. I could not have done it without you, mostly because at the entire university, there was not another sick bastard nearly as sick as you.